Welcome, welcome. Today we have with us Heidi Jaeger. She's the chaplain for Applegate HomeCare Hospice for the Summit and Wasatch County area. Thanks for being with us, Heidi.
Thanks for having me, Tyler.
So today the purpose of our video is to go over caregiver burnout, kind of go over some tips to prevent it, and we'll just hop right into it. So first, what is caregiver burnout?
Well, caregiver burnout is what happens to people who don't realize that they are losing it until it's too late. But it's just because it's overwhelmed. People get overwhelmed with the responsibilities of what is required to take care of someone at home, whether it's physical or mental or a combination of both.
Totally. And what are some proactive steps that they can take to prevent that burnout?
I think the best thing is two things. One is find a caregiver support group and join them. You can't imagine how helpful it is to spend time with people in a similar situation who've been maybe where you are, or maybe have some ideas that you never thought of. Maybe they've also done some research and found some people that have been able to help them and they could refer. And then the other thing is accept help. Accept help from your family, accept help from your neighbors, from your church, anybody who offers. And if they don't offer, ask. And then maybe the third thing is be prepared. Be prepared that even while, as the caregiver, you're managing just fine, you've been doing this and you know how to do things and you have a good relationship with your loved one, at some point you are going to need a break. And maybe you're going to need to bring somebody into the home, or you're going to need to place your loved one in a facility, maybe just temporarily, like 4 or 5 days, or maybe long term. But don't wait till you get to the burnout phase, because then you're not going to make very good decisions. And these things don't happen overnight. You've got to work at it. You've got to do some research. You've got to maybe take a few tours, call some people, get some information. So we have a caregiver support group here in Park City that I lead. They meet second and fourth Fridays of the month at St. Luke's Episcopal Church. And we share ideas. We share experiences, we share our frustrations. Nobody has all the answers, but everybody has 1 or 2 answers, and it helps the rest of the people who are there. Sometimes it just helps knowing you're not alone in this. There's so many people in a similar situation.
That's so true. And for those that are maybe struggling with caregiver burnout, how are you able to recognize if someone is struggling?
Yeah, I think actually people around you will recognize it before you do. And a caregiver's first response is usually denial. But take the advice of someone who says you need a break. Take a break, even if it's just for an afternoon. See if you can get somebody to cover for you, and take a walk or go to a movie or whatever you like to do, whatever makes you happy, do it. Get out of the house and go do something for yourself, because self-care is so critical. It's a similar situation as when you're in an airplane and they talk about if you're traveling with a child and for some reason you need oxygen, don't put it on the kid first, put it on yourself and then deal with the child. You've got to take care of yourself first, or you're not going to be available for your loved one.
That is so true. And you mentioned like these support groups. What would you say is the best way to find these different caregiver support groups?
Well, actually, depending on where people live, I think 2 of the best resources are the local area agency on aging. There's one in every county, and the Alzheimer's support or Alzheimer's organization. And they've got a website. I think it's alzheimers.org, but anyway, easy to find, with a wealth of information focused on whatever area you're looking in, and people there who could help if you just want to call them.
That's awesome. And you had mentioned about adding care facilities into it and such. What's the best way to find the best care facility?
Well, I think people do need to get out and tour those facilities, but it's very difficult to make a decision based on a 1-hour tour with a sales rep. There are individuals you can contact who are very familiar with those facilities, and they will tell you what the staffing level is like, what the care is like at late night, the satisfaction rate. Then they will steer you to the better ones at that time. And it changes all the time depending on staffing for the most part. That's probably the best way. There are individuals who work for those facilities who will also make recommendations. You don't really want to talk to those people. But they actually are paid by the facility. And so are the people who are not working directly with a facility. They just know about different ones because they're in them all the time.
Totally.
And they don't charge the patient or the caregiver for the information.
That's awesome. No,
Yeah.
we love that. Well, yeah, to recap, more than anything, it sounds like to prevent caregiver burnout is first kind of educate yourself a little bit beforehand. Be a little proactive with it. And then 2, be honest with yourself and listen to others. And because other people, they can kind of see when you're getting stressed out with it all. And then 3, possibly look into different care facilities. Do tours with them and just educate yourself on those beforehand, before it's too late.
Right.
Type of thing.
Yeah.
Well, sweet. Well, thank you so much, Heidi. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Tyler.
Sweet.